Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2019 North American Ball Hockey Championship, presented by Cool Hockey Events and streamed live by Memory to Video Productions. I'm Mike Muskelko, and we are live at the SportsPlex in FEASTERVILLE-TREVOSE, Pennsylvania, awaiting the championship matchup between the number 4 seed Ottawa Godfathers and the number 6 seed Pittsburgh GODS. This is a rematch of the 2017 championship, in which the GODS won. I'm alongside Joey Delgado. Joey, the GODS are no stranger to finals, having been in their third in a row here.
Yep, this is it's the North American Championships. It's the final day, the final game, and that means that the GODS are here and they're getting home late. This is what they do. They come to this tournament, they come early, they stay late. That's how it works around here.
Now, as I mentioned, this is a rematch of the 2017 championship, where the GODS were able to take that one. They were in last year's, and they were the runner-up as they lost to Niagara, the War Pigs, last year, and now they are back in the finals again.
They sure are. And, you know, the Ottawa Godfathers are a tournament-tested team. They're veterans. They've been around the scene for a while, and it seems like over the last couple of years, they've really taken it up a notch. They've picked up some new players. Of course, they still have the very personable James Brown to provide all of the fun stuff, all the personality, and he also provides a little scoring as well.
The Godfathers came into this tournament as the number 4 seed. In the quarterfinals, they beat the team from Barrie 3-0, and then in the semis, the Garden State Warriors 4-3. The GODS came in as the 6th seed and were able to take care of a very tough Leominster Americans team 2-1. And then the Buffalo Fusion shut them out 3-0. The Fusion had a great run. Looked like they were going to possibly get to the finals, and the GODS shut them down in every way, shape, and form, taking that one 3-0 to advance to the championship game right here.
Yep. Once again, another North American tournament, another semifinal basically between the GODS and the Fusion. And of course, you know, the Fusion really kind of gave it to them. They really kind of stuck it to the GODS in the final prelim on Saturday, winning that one 3-1. Kind of surprised a bunch of people, myself included, to be honest with you. But there's something about the Fusion and the GODS. When those guys get together, it's always a tough matchup. So you had to think, going into the semifinals, the GODS might have been a little bit concerned because they lost that one, but they took care of business. They kind of righted the ship, and here we are.
So we've got the Godfathers designated as the home team in the light blue, and the GODS designated as the away team, or the guests, in the black uniforms. As we wind down the clock shortly, we'll have a brief break from our broadcast in terms of announcing, where we will let the PA announcer take over and start the ceremonies, announce the starting lineups for both sides, and then we will cut back in to the live action.
Very interesting to see the difference in how these two teams prepare. I mean, look at the...
Lots of pushing and shoving, and down at the GODS end, all business.
Exactly. Roughhousing in blue, and like you said, all business in black.
Would you expect anything less from the team that brings the boombox and disco ball onto the floor with them?
I can't say that I would.
Number 2,
In case you didn't catch all that over the PA system, possibly a little difficult to hear, that was First Sergeant Scott Ferris doing the ceremonial ball drop there, a decorated officer with 22 medals to his name. He retired in 2013. So a great honor for First Sergeant Scott Ferris. As these two teams gear up to do battle. The Gods down at the far end getting ready. And the Godfathers at at our near side. The Godfathers in the powder blue or light blue from Ottawa, Canada. And the Gods from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in the black. Down at the far end from our crow's nest here, up top the SportsPlex. Getting ready for the opening face-off. Mike Henter, the assistant captain for the Godfathers, will step up and take this one, and he wins it back to James Holden, who sends it down into the zone. As we are underway in the championship matchup, a rematch from 2017, the Gods and the Godfathers. This one sent down long, and Mark Purdy able to quell that one as it gets sent down the other way. Chased down into the corner. Taken up at the top of the point, fired by Purdy. That one goes just wide of John Rethage in goal. Chased down into the corner. Purdy had the head start and was barely able to get to it. Out racing Steve Gregory, the best player on the Gods, quite possibly the best player in the arena, not only tonight but during the entire tournament. Guy to keep your eye on, number 23, Steve Gregory. That one shot right into the chest of Nick Lamb, who will cover that one up and take the whistle. .56 remaining in the first as we are just underway. Both teams settling in. Each team has played multiple games throughout the weekend, up to and including today. Deep rosters on both sides, so endurance shouldn't be an issue, but a lot of these guys have left everything they've had out there, and now they've got to give everything left in the tank here in this championship matchup. Fighting behind the net. The Godfathers looking to try to get something going offensively. Back and forth as they almost turned it over. We're able to get it back. Might look for the wraparound, but that one's stolen. Now here comes the break the other way. The Gods with a full head of steam. Battling around in the corner. Getting physical up against the boards. Drew Albright trying to scoop it out of there. He's got a little bit of help now. Albright comes away with it. Dumps it back down into the corner. Over to what looked like Hunter Godkin. They're scrapping and fighting for it. Ed McDonough up in there as well as he lays a hand, body, shoulder, everything else, and we get a whistle. As that stalemate was not coming to an end, we'll get a stoppage in play here and reset briefly. We'll have the face-off here at our near side in the defensive zone of the Godfathers. Godfathers in that powder blue. Their jersey looks like a tuxedo as they keep it classy. Up and off the netting. Normally that bounces back down into play and they keep going, but this one slips out the bottom, lands on the concrete outside the rink, and that one will go out of play, and we'll get another whistle here. Typically that is a scenario in which it'll bounce around and they'll continue to play it. As the Godfathers play it behind their own goal, send it up and ahead, down the other way. Blondeau advancing, looking for some help, sends it behind. Scrapping in front of the net. Fighting back and forth, now taken away by Pittsburgh. Taking their time, but he really didn't have the time as he was being pursued pretty heavily. Quick personnel change for the Godfathers, as now the Gods try to wing it up and around. That one taken by James Holden, tried to get rid of it and couldn't. Jordan Albright. There's two Albrights on the Gods. That one's centered, rolls through, and that is a goal. 6:42 remaining in the first. We have our first goal of the game, and it was a dribbler. Every goaltender's nightmare, as Nick Lamb looks like he just couldn't locate it. It took a little bit of a short hop bounce and trickled its way back in. And the Gods take the early advantage in this one. Up 1-0. So Pittsburgh jumps out to the early lead, and now Ottawa playing from behind. Scrapping down in the corner, physicality up against the boards. Scrapping and fighting for it. You can hear them banging up against the boards as they continue to wrestle. Circles around looking for some kind of centering pass, and we're going to get a whistle here. As we await the call here.
Go, go, go.
Take a look at the replay on that first goal. Nick Lamb looks like he had everything under control. And then a short hop and a bounce. And the next thing you know, the Pittsburgh Gods are up 1-0. Back to live action here. Thought about taking the shot from the point. Jason Craig does take the shot from the point. That one goes up and off the glass. Played forward. Chased down by Dan Gregory. Dan Gregory goes for the centering pass, just gets the stick to it. Nick Lamb comes up with the big save there, as it was nearly 2-0 within the first 5 minutes of this matchup. Ottawa now trying to get something going, as they've been a little flat here in the first few minutes. Fired from deep right into the chest of Nick Lamb, who's going to go ahead and take that one. Take the whistle. Take a quick look at the replay here. On 4 here still for the next few seconds. Then back to full strength on both sides as those minors canceled out. Lamb again lost sight of that one as it bounced up and off the boards, almost like arena football out there. Tucks up against the post, and now scrapping behind the net. There's 2 Gods jerseys and 1 Godfather jersey. The Gods come away with it in the numbers game. Josh Faust fighting in the corner, looking for his teammate, Drew Albright. Albright levels things up. Over to Jordan Albright. Setting up the play, just missed the centering pass. This one will roll up and out of the zone and has to be chased down with 4:34 remaining here in the first. 1-0 advantage for the Pittsburgh Gods here at the SportsPlex. Centering pass, beautiful save by Nick Lamb as he goes from post to post and gets a pad on that one. So they got the easy one by him early, but he's come up big on the last 2 possessions. As now Jason Craig tried to settle it down, dumped it down into the zone, really chased around. Gods come away with it as the Ottawa Godfathers go for a line change while they had a moment. James Holden flings it down far side, and we will get an icing call. 3:47. As As we get back to the replay here, and there's the bounce and the trickle, and so far, 6.5 minutes into this one, that's the difference. Back to live action, as that one fired into the chest of Nick Lamb. He makes the save. Didn't get the cover, so it's still in possession. The centering pass missed for the Gods, as it's now brought up the other way by Dave McCloskey. Even with the floating blue line, would have been offsides if they didn't get back, as the Godfathers lost possession of that one just behind the red line. The quick cover taken by John Rethage. Haven't had to say his name much yet today. John Rethage, the goalie for the Pittsburgh GODS, hasn't faced a ton of action here in the first 6.5 minutes, give or take. As that face-off taken by Mike Henter, and he will dive on that one like it's a grenade and take the whistle. Whistle with 3:20 remaining. The Pittsburgh GODS playing with a 1-0 advantage, which has got to be a great feeling for the 4-time champions, 2-time runner-up, their 3rd time in a row in the championship game. As Ottawa retreats, Anthony Rea behind his own net, reading the floor, looking at his options, takes his time, decides to fling it up ahead. He was looking for Mike Henter, but overshot him. As the Gods will take this one over, pressured on the forecheck. They take their time behind their own net. Under 3 minutes remaining in the first, as that one is bombed down to the far side. Gods remain in possession of it, chasing it down into the corner. Flung around by Anthony Rea. Now scrapping for it over in the corner. Phil LaRocque brings it up and dumps it in. John Code chases it. LaRocque and Code down for Ottawa, trying to get something going offensively. That one bounces up in the air, caught and played. 2 and change remaining. Still no shot on Rethage, as the Pittsburgh GODS are content to let that one fly. Looked like it could have been icing, but it wasn't, as they let that one go flying on the deep ball. Trevor Helliker starts the break the other way. Looking for some help, fresh off the bench was Rayom. As we get the whistle here with 1:49 remaining in the first, 1-0 advantage for the Pittsburgh GODS. It's nice to see the Ottawa Godfathers wearing their formal attire, their powder blue tuxedo shirts. Face off, won by the Gods, as they look to extend their lead. Chased down in the corner. Took it a little easy there, did Jim Doherty. Nope, take it the other way, sorry. That was Mark Purdy who was playing it in the corner. There's Purdy again. Purdy tries to consolidate his position. We're going to get a delayed call there, as Purdy went down. As we will have a power play here in just a second. Getting ready for the face-off, 5-on-4 now. As Ottawa will look to try to take advantage of this and knot this one up with the man advantage. Purdy was the one who was knocked over with the tripping call. This one up high. Rayom thought about sending it. Purdy now sends it over to Rayom. Rayom tries to work it ahead, loses the handle on it. Flung down, and Nick Lamb is forced to play center field on that one. Purdy working his way up with only 20 seconds remaining on the power play. Ottawa unable to do anything so far, up to including getting his shot off. Rayom now working behind the net. Sends it over to the circles. Doesn't make its way through. We'll be back to full strength here in 2-1. And we are back to even with 20 seconds remaining in this first period. Rathage still untested. Coming down the other way. The Gods trying to get off one final shot. They do. It bounces wide. Chased down by Chris Matthews as the first period expires. 1-0 advantage for the Pittsburgh Gods over the Ottawa Godfathers in this, the championship matchup of the North America Championships. Here at the SportsPlex. Advantage to start the period for the Gods as they look to notch their 5th championship. That one up and out of play into the players' bench. Jordan Albright on the face-off. That one won by Ottawa. Send it around, handled behind their own goal. Dutney playing it, trying to get it ahead. That one bounces off a couple of feet. Nearly a dangerous attempt by LaRock, but thwarted. That is a great effort to poke it up and ahead. Albright chasing it down. Ottawa rounds it back up. Ottawa unable to get much offense going in the first. Barely got a handful of shots off. When I say a handful, I might be being generous. Rethage was not tested often, and he falls asleep on that one. Rethage didn't tuck up against the post, wasn't even looking. His defenseman lost it, and that one pokes in. Unbelievable. Both the goals we have seen so far have been bouncing, squirrely, odd shots. As we are knotted up 1-1 here. Back live to the face-off. Both goals unbelievable. Here at the North Americans, you expect to see amazing scoring action, and both the goals today have been amazing, but not in the way you would expect. A bouncer and a chipper are the two that tied this thing up so far. 8.5 remaining. Ottawa controls it in the offensive zone, trying to get something going here. That one fired. The goalie was screened as it bounced off of Dave McCloskey. Looking for the wraparound was Beausejour. Beausejour still fighting for it. As that one clears the zone, Helliker jumped for it, wasn't able to get it. And we're going to get the offsides as that one was launched far. Take a look at the replay here on that goal. Now take a look at Rethage. He goes, yep, my defenseman's got it. Wait, no, he doesn't. Boink, and it is too late. It is already behind him. As it is now knotted up at 1 apiece as we get ready for the face-off here. Some physicality up against the boards as you can hear them slamming and bamming up against them. Under 8 remaining in the second. Ottawa, who was outpaced in the first, definitely has picked up the pace here in the second. As Rayom tried to keep it in the zone, lost the handle on it to Zimic. Rick Zimic sends it down. Battling for it up against the boards on the near side. We're going to get a whistle here, as the penalty will be on the Ottawa Godfathers, as the delayed call sent Rethage on the run to the bench. Second tripping call of the day. The Gods will now look to capitalize on their first power play. Each team with a power play so far. 7.5 remaining in the second period here at the SportsPlex. Scrambling on the face-off. Gods come away with it, are able to maintain possession. That one tipped around as Zimic sent it forward. Back up top to Zimic. That one fired with a rocket shot was Jordan Albright. Now coming down the other way, but he doesn't have the numbers. A 1-on-3, and he turns it over. As that was John Code. Tried to get something going, but just had no support with him up there. Code pursues up against the boards. Sent up top to Zimic. Zimic fires. That one goes wide of the net. Still bouncing around in front of the net. Beating and banging up against the corner. Scrapping, and we will get a stoppage. As the Gods pointing out the unfriendly clock operators. There was about 10 seconds left on the power play when the whistle blew, and it ended up being about 6 by the time the clock actually stopped. Maybe immaterial, but the Gods wanted their 4 seconds back. Not going to happen, as we'll be back to even strength right after this face-off. But a great opportunity for the Gods as they are stacked in the offensive zone. Nick Lamb clamps down, ready to try and get this thing leveled up. As we are now back to full strength. That one pops up and into the netting. Ottawa takes their time, trying to set something up. Flings it up and in, and they'll chase. Down in the corner is Blondeau. Turned over right in the middle. Coming away with it is Steve Gregory. Haven't said his name a tremendous amount. Here's an opportunity shot right into the chest of Rethage, who will now take the cover on that follow-up shot. So that was Claude Blondeau with the opportunity there. It was a 1-on-3. But he put the shot right into the chest of the goalie, who gave up a rebound and then took the cover. 5:56 remaining in the second. We are knotted up at 1 apiece in the championship matchup here at the SportsPlex. The North American Ball Hockey Championships, presented live by Memory to Video Productions. Scrapping again down in the corner, as the Gods will now chase it down. He's got the angle. Chased down in the corner by the one and only James Brown, as he will use all of his power to try to overwhelm them there. Now looking for the wraparound. Still there. It's going to trickle back, and that one's in! The goal by Marc-Andre Lacasse. As we are no longer tied up, it was the godfather of soul, James Brown, who kept that one in possession, laid it off to Marc-Andre Lacasse. Lacasse did the wraparound, which did not get in, but it stayed alive in front of the net, and he was able to poke home his own rebound. And just like that, after a quick 1-0 advantage for the Gods, a 2-0 run gives the Godfathers the advantage, and this is how they got it. So James Brown kept it alive, got it ahead to Marc-Andre Lacasse, who went for the wraparound. John Rethage was wise to that, but as it continued to bounce around, his D caught out of position, and the backhanded chipper, he had it, and he just snuck by, and that is how it is 2-1 in favor of the Godfathers. The Godfathers came into this matchup the number 4 seed in the tournament. Pittsburgh GODS the number 6 seed in the tournament. But according to the ballhockey.com standings, the Pittsburgh GODS, the higher rated team, as they were 3rd in North America, looked to try to kick it ahead. Was Chris Matthews. He was unable to do so. Matthews not giving up on it just yet, as Matthews continues to pursue, as Dan Gregory launches that one up and out of play. 4:25 remaining in the second. 2-1 advantage for the Ottawa Godfathers, who were down 1-0 early and have scored the last 2 to take the advantage here at the SportsPlex. So ready for the face-off at the near side. Closest to our crow's nest here. As that one was taken by Mike Henter. The GODS working around behind their own net. That was Rick Zimick sending it up. Rick Zimick now chasing it down the other way, as he covered a lot of ground, but all for naught. As Petito was caught offsides on that one. We'll take it up right above the blue line. Just over 4 minutes remaining. As the quick cover taken by Nick Lamb, as that one leaked through off the face-off. Good pressure by the GODS to force the cover by Nick Lamb. Lamb let in a dribbler early, but has been very solid since then. Up and off the netting, squished up against the boards and kept in play by Jared Hirsch. As they're scrapping for it down in the corner, Ottawa looks to come away with it. And we'll send it far side. This one here will get the icing call. And that is launched from end to end. Phil LaRocque was going to chase it down to no energy needed to be expended on that one, as it was the easy icing call for the officials, who tend to be reasonably generous with the icing calls here at the North American Ball Hockey Championships. I would say player-friendly refs is the proper terminology, as they pretty much just let them play. That one popped ahead. The GODS keep it in their zone off the hand. As Hirsch tried to keep it in, loses out. LaRocque was chasing it, unable to get there. We'll get a whistle here with 3:21 remaining, 2-1 advantage for the Godfathers. As the icing call will bring it down to our near end, into the defensive zone of the Pittsburgh GODS. Blondeau taking the face-off up against Gregory. Gregory gets hit in the head, goes down, and we'll get a quick whistle here, as Steve Gregory caught a quick shot up in the head on the high stick, hit the deck, but seems to have shaken it off relatively easily, and will continue to play here. The advantage now for the Pittsburgh GODS, a great opportunity for them to try to get their way back into this one and even it up. They're down 2-1 at the moment, but up a man. And in the defensive zone of the Godfathers. Godfathers win that one backwards, fighting up against the boards, looking to try to scramble it out. That one's kept in by Gregory. Sends it over to Zimic. Zimic controls at the point. Sends it back over to Gregory. Fired in a goal! We are tied up. 18 seconds into the power play. And the slap shot from just north of the face-off circles ties this one up at 2 apiece. This is an absolute back and forth battle. As we get ready for a face-off with exactly 3 minutes left. In the second, tied up at 2 apiece. A back and forth battle between the Ottawa Godfathers and the Pittsburgh GODS. That one bounces up and off the boards. Handled by Harry Sy. McCloskey brings it up, centers it right into the chest of Rethage, who makes a nice save, and now it comes down the other way. Perfect timing to not get the offsides there as the GODS pressure down into the corner. Ball leaks out. GODS are able to keep it in. That was Dan Gregory up top. As we get another whistle here. Two to 2 with 2:14 remaining at the North American Ball Hockey Championships at the SportsPlex in FEASTERVILLE-TREVOSE, Pennsylvania. North of Philadelphia, as we have a 4-on-4 here as we have canceling out minors. So we'll have a little 4-on-4 action here for the next minute. Give the teams a little extra spacing to try to get something going here. Tied up at 2 apiece. Ottawa brings it down, looking for a shot. That one up and into the netting. As we've got a player down, that looks like Bake Boules. Bake Boules went down. I didn't catch what happened to him, but he hit the deck and we got a quick whistle here. As we've got some fan reaction here to the sequence of events. Perhaps a not so friendly play, as it looks like we will have one of the Pittsburgh GODS sent to the old penalty box. As Boules is up and walking, and will leave the floor under his own power. Always good to see. Little pushing and shoving after. The extracurricular activity, I believe, is actually what got the whistle here, as we've got on the board 2 more canceling minors. The officials sorting it out. We'll see what they end up with. It was 4-on-4 before that stoppage in play. We're just under the 2-minute mark here in the second period. The officials still sorting this one out. So this is a rematch of the 2017 championship game, where the GODS came out on top. In the 2018 championship game, the GODS were in that one too, but they lost to Niagara, the War Pigs, who are not here in this tournament this year. And now they are back in it for the 3rd year in a row. 2 out of the last 3 years facing the Godfathers. So these two teams very familiar with each other, as they are both leaving everything they've got out on the floor here. Officials still sorting it out. It is looking as though they've finally got it figured out here. Maybe not. as the officials continue to take their time. Chattering back and forth here. As we've got less than 2 minutes. Right now on the board, they've got the cancel out, 41 seconds still remaining on that minute double minors for each team there. And right now they've got 2 minutes on one side, 1 minute on the other. We're not sure if that's accurate. They're still sorting it out, everybody chatting it over, trying to figure out the final ruling, as they want to make sure they get it right here in a championship matchup. Referees under a ton of scrutiny to begin with, but in a championship game, you know there's always extra scrutiny. They're going to take their time and make sure everybody's on the same page, that they communicate this to the benches and coaches, and they get this call right. While we have a break in the action, a reminder that today's live action is brought to you by Memory to Video Productions. Visit memorytovideo.com for more information, as we are streaming live from the SportsPlex in FEASTERVILLE-TREVOSE, Pennsylvania. There's been non-stop ball hockey action all day. Multiple rinks here at this facility, both men's and women's playing simultaneous games. This has hands down been the biggest break in action all day, with a couple minute delay here. And it looks like we are finally able to get this one back underway. It looks like I can take my tap dancing shoes off, and we can finally get back to the action here. It'll be 3-on-3, and then it looks like it'll be 4-on-4, and then there'll be a brief 1 minute stretch where it should go to 5-on-4. To the advantage of the Godfathers, I believe. Looks like Rethage was going to take the cover briefly, but his defenseman was able to get it out of there. Actually, that was Steve Gregory brought it up. As they are in 3-on-3 for the next 22 seconds and counting. Dutney sends it down and in, as both teams basically taking a man-to-man approach, as there's a lot of empty space on the floor with only 3 players on each side battling up against the boards. 2-1, we are back to 4-on-4 action now, as both teams will take their players out of the penalty box and make a quick change. As Jordan Albright goes to work it up, dumps it off for Jared Hirsch, who sent it up ahead. Albright pushed in the back as he went to shoot it. Didn't get all of it on there. Still battling out front. And the cover taken by Nick Lamb. 52 seconds remaining in the second period. We are now on to 5-on-4 in favor of the Godfathers, who are taking the face-off in their own zone. They're able to win that one, and they will remain in a power play for the remainder of this period, unless, of course, they score, in which case that will cancel that out. So the Ottawa Godfathers trying to get something going. That one fielded by Nick Lamb as it rolled right down into him. Everybody stacks up on the blue line, waiting for it to get ahead. Taken up by Chris Matthews, who then sent it back to the point. Blondeau sends it up high, back over to Matthews. Fired from deep. That one rolls through on the deep shot. We've got 10 seconds down into the single digits now, as the Godfathers look to try to get one more opportunity, but turn it over. And that will do it here for the second period. We are knotted up at 2 apiece here at the SportsPlex for the 2019 North American Ball Hockey Championships, presented by Cool Hockey Events. We will take a brief intermission here and be back to the live action 2-2 between the Pittsburgh GODS and the Ottawa Godfathers. As we are back to live action streaming here from the SportsPlex for the North American Ball Hockey Championships, this matchup between the number 6 seed Pittsburgh GODS and the number 4 seed Ottawa Godfathers. The Godfathers in the light blue, the Pittsburgh GODS in the black. If you happen to be just joining us streaming live, I'm Mike Muskoka calling all of your action here today as we enter the third and potentially final period. This one knotted up at 2 apiece still, so anything could happen. As the GODS try to control it and bring it ahead. Controlled by Jason Craig, who brought it up and then dumped in by Anthony Rea. Pittsburgh takes it behind their own net, flings it up and around the boards. It bounces back into the middle. That one up and into the rafters. You can hear the clunk. That'll be a stoppage in play. In this particular building, you can play it off just about anything, but not the steel girder beams. That one plunks off the steel beams and down into play, and we'll get a quick whistle here. 9.5 remaining in the third period. They haven't modified the scoreboard just yet. It's not the second. We are into the third. As I say that, they fix it. That one bouncing up and around, a dangerous play as John Rethage lost sight of it for just a moment. This has been a back and forth battle, as you would fully expect with two teams of this caliber going at it. Ottawa chases it down into their own zone, circling around his own net. There's Helliker. Helliker sends it ahead to Rayom. Rayom brings it in. Individual effort. Slides down and into the goalie. Still not up. They're pushing and shoving. A pie face move right there as Rayom, Zach Rayom, in the crease. He made a great individual effort to try to get a shot off. Ended up crashing into John Rethage. As we're going to take a look here at the replay. We're knotted up 2-2. This was that prior shot, bounced up and then off. A close call. No whistle on the pie face, by the way, as the full arm extension knocked down Rayom. Both teams settled down and get right back to the action. 5-on-5, tied up 2-2 apiece. Here at the SportsPlex. As we are getting into crunch time, that one was a little high, knocked down by Rethage. It keeps it moving ahead. The GODS trying to get something going, but knock it up and into the player bench as we get another stoppage in play here. Reminder, today's live action is brought to you by Cool Hockey Events. Visit coolhockeyevents.com for more information. Face off was Won by the Gods. That one pop fly up and off the wall. That one fired, saved by Lamb, as that was a rocket shot by John Petito. Petito continues to pursue now, fighting behind the net with James Holden. Holden comes away with it, lays it off to his teammate Purdy. Mark Purdy has plenty of time and only one direction to go in, so he takes the left side, works it up. Sends it up and over the red line, but not up and over the blue. Intercepted in the middle, taken forward by Beausejour, who lays it off for Blondeau. Blondeau and Beausejour. Sends it up high. A mistake there by Ottawa as he tried to send it up to the point. It goes out of their zone, and now everybody's got to retreat behind the blue line. That one fired from deep. Rolls around the boards. Taken by Henter. Henter tries to get the shot off. It rounds it back out. As Ottawa continues to control possession but hasn't been able to put a lot of shots on goal in this particular possession. Looking for the wraparound. That one's swatted away by Rethage. And there it is. That one will break the tie as Ottawa Dave McCloskey with the wraparound.
Okay, we ready? Let's back it up a little bit. Hold on, not you. You're good as you are.
3-2 in favor of Ottawa now, as time becomes a factor. Over 7 minutes left, so still a lot of time, but the Pittsburgh Gods have to be feeling the pressure and the crunch as they race down to the corner. The Gods come away with that one, a great hustle. The Gods playing with a sense of urgency here with 6.5 minutes remaining in the third, down 3-2 now, as the physicality picks up as well. McDonough playing away, fires that one, bounces up and off the glove of Lamb. And now chased down the other way. There's no need for it, as we will get the icing call. See if we can take a quick look at the replay of that goal, as we see Rethage slide over to protect the post and swats it away initially.
All right, I'm going to come back to you.
Back to live action. Battling up against the boards as he kisses the glass. We got a face full of Josh Faust down here as he was mushed up against the boards. But they continue battling, as we'll get a whistle here. Cut back to the replay here, as that one was put away and buried by number 7, Dan Beausejour. Who puts it top shelf. We've got a 5-on-4 advantage here, power play for the Pittsburgh Gods. Something they may desperately need here, as we are under 6 minutes and they are down 1 goal. A great opportunity to try to tie this one back up. Fired from the point, the save by Nick Lamb, who will take the cover. And it looks like that cover will not matter, as it was whistled offsides slightly late. So we are going back behind the blue line. Man advantage for the Pittsburgh Gods. Goal advantage for the Ottawa Godfathers. As we get ready for a face-off here with 5:47 remaining in the third. That one won by Ottawa and fired up ahead. Rethage helps his defenseman out and plays it forward. Pittsburgh looking to get something going, get it up and over the blue line. Looked for the give and go, but it was bumped off his mark. A great play defensively by Ottawa. As there's 15 seconds and ticking on the power play. Went to loft that in, and now it's going back the other way. Ottawa with the numbers, actually, even though they're down a man. As that one goes out of play with just 3 ticks of the clock remaining before we're back to full strength. Line changes across the board for both sides. As you can feel the pressure mounting, time becoming more and more of a factor as precious ticks come off the clock. Just over 5 minutes remaining. Pittsburgh trying to get something going, seeing if they can tie this one up. Working it down, puts it right into the pad of Nick Lamb, who takes the cover. That was Drew Albright taking it in. This one controlled by Ottawa. We are back to even strength on both sides. Taken ahead by Blondeau. Blondeau dumps it into the zone, lets his teammates chase. That's McCloskey chasing it down. Blondeau ends up back with it. Up high to Martin. Alex Martin fires it, ends up on net. Bounces around quickly. Rethage gets the cover. 4:40 remaining in the third and potentially final period. So if you're joining us late, we are live from the 2019 North American Ball Hockey Championships, presented by Memory to Video Productions and Cool Hockey Events, as the Ottawa Godfathers cling to a 3-2 advantage over the Pittsburgh Gods, pushing down into the board. Physicality by Drew Albright. Drew Albright takes his time, being poke checked by Blondeau. Albright dumps it off for the other Albright, Jordan, and Jordan Albright ties it up! Albright to Albright, Drew Albright to Jordan Albright, and we are tied up at 3 apiece. Incredible back and forth action here in FEASTERVILLE-TREVOSE, Pennsylvania at the SportsPlex. Crazy back and forth action as time was becoming a factor here. The Gods picked up the pace. Up and off the netting. So the Albright to Albright connection ties this one back up, and we nearly had another one. As John Petito barely missed. Lamb takes it off the chest there and retreats back into his crease as we get a whistle on the icing. It'll come back down to our near side here. Nick Lamb, hands on the hips. Not sure if he's feeling the pressure of this 3-3 matchup or if he's just a little run down, as he has been tested multiple times, not only throughout this game, but throughout this whole tournament, and has played absolutely great. Ottawa wins that face-off, tries to bring it up ahead. Was John Code, gave it away. Steve Gregory takes it, retreats, lofts that one in. Nick Lamb got a glove on it, but wasn't able to close it up. Now it's going down the other way. Mike Henter sends it ahead. Rayom down there as well, but now popped up by the Gods, who will take a line change. Rushing down into the corner as Purdy getting all kinds of pushed around. The officials continue to let that one go, as that was James Holden. We're going to get a whistle here. Back and forth action. The physicality level has picked up here in the last 3 minutes, as we have Holden knocked down to the ground, mushed around. We had all kinds of pushing and shoving in front of the crease. 3-3 tie, 2:51 remaining here in the third. What better way to have a championship game end than perhaps extra time? The Gods bringing it ahead, turns it over at center ice. That one lofted wide by Blondeau. Icing will go back down the other way. It was great to see in the pregame ceremony, First Sergeant Scott Ferris, who retired from the military in 2013, was honored. A decorated officer who served 3 post-9/11 combat tours. We thank him for all of his service and what he's done for our great country. So thank you to First Sergeant Scott Ferris. 2:32 remaining in the third. Knotted up at 3 apiece. The 6-seed Pittsburgh Gods and the 4-seed Ottawa Godfathers. The Gods defeated the Americans and the Fusion to get into the finals. Ottawa defeated Barrie and Garden State. That one fired just wide as Holden went sliding in to try to get it. Was unable to come away with it. Albright centers it. The backhand saved by Lamb. Chased down the other way. Scrambling over into the corner is Beau Séjour, who gets pinned up the boards for his effort. We are under 2 minutes. Less than 120 seconds remaining in this matchup. Pittsburgh working it up and over the blue line, sends it wide. Scrapping up against the boards. Ottawa comes away with it, dumps it down. That one will be played by Rethage. Rethage gets it ahead to his defenseman. They're saying that one was tipped and would not be an icing call. As Jason Craig dumps it in and chases. Craig unable to get there. We are just over a minute remaining in this matchup. The Gods, they lose the handle on it, was Jordan Albright. Up against the boards, played up and off, kept into the zone, up and off the netting. We are under 1 minute in this championship matchup, tied up at 3 apiece here at the SportsPlex. The Godfathers rushing down into the corner. John Code scrapping for it. Code trying to come away with it. They're pushing each other and not even paying attention to the ball. As that one rolls up and around the boards, 38 seconds and ticking. Fresh legs come sprinting out in the form of Mark Purdy, who tried to center himself, but it didn't get there. This one bounces up ahead, a sprinting effort, but to no avail, as we will get the icing call, and this one will go back down the far side. 3-3 with 26 seconds remaining in this championship matchup. Today's live action is brought to you by Cool Hockey Events. Visit coolhockeyevents.com for more information. Being live streamed by Memory to Video Productions. Looks like we will get a timeout here by the Gods, as they'd like to get themselves settled in, rested, and time to think about how they want to finish off these potentially last 25.7 seconds. As we take a look at both benches here, the Godfathers and the Gods. The Godfathers in the light powder blue tuxedos, Dumb and Dumber style. The Pittsburgh Gods in the black. As both these teams talk it over in what has been an absolute back and forth battle, with scoring early and often. 6 combined goals in this matchup. Both goalies with a little bit of time to catch a breather. As we will take the face-off in the defensive zone of the Pittsburgh Gods. The Ottawa Godfathers looking to try to capitalize on the position. Pittsburgh comes away with it, kept in by 13. That one's fired off the board. James Holden did a nice job keeping that one in and then firing it. As we are under 10 seconds, we are into single digits here. Will some last-second heroics determine the championship? Bouncing around nearly just wide as the crowd groans and moans as the ball just bounced wide of the net. As we are tied up at 3 apiece in this championship matchup.
All right.
We'll have a 30-second break, give or take, here before we get back to the action. So a reminder that today's live action is brought to you in part by Milek. Visit milek.com for more information. An absolute battle between these two teams here. The DJ playing We Will Rock You, among other Queen songs. And shortly here, there's going to be another Queen song played, and that's going to be We Are the Champions for one of these two teams, the Godfathers or the Gods. We get ready to start the 10-minute overtime. Sudden death. This will be up to a 10-minute overtime, sudden death. Next goal takes home the championship here at the 2019 North American Ball Hockey Championships, presented by Cool Hockey Events, live from the SportsPlex in FEASTERVILLE-TREVOSE, Pennsylvania. Amazing action on both sides here. Just absolute back and forth. That one played by Rethage. Thinks about dumping it out and decides to take the cover, as he had Jared Hirsch there if he needed him, but a bunch of blue tuxedos running his way decided to think better of it and take the cover. This face-off will be taken by Steve Gregory, one of the best players in the tournament. And he'll match up against Blondeau. That one scrapes through. The backhand taken by McCloskey didn't go anywhere. Still battling behind the net, as Rethage took a stab at it, but it was still loose. Ottawa continues to control it, playing down in their offensive zone here. Now flip the script, going the other way. That one's sent wide by Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh takes the opportunity, pinned in the corner, to get a line change going here. 4 out of their 5 guys jumped off the floor. So they have fresh legs here with 9 minutes remaining in overtime. That one lofted up and behind the net. Pittsburgh looking to try to set something up. All kinds of a scramble in front of the net. Guys pushed into the goalie. Someone loses a helmet. Play continues. As we are under the 9-minute mark. That one goes just wide, as Nick Lamb wasn't too troubled by it. Pittsburgh trying to get something going here to finish this one off. That one put right into the stick of Nick Lamb. The Godfathers able to chip it down and into the zone there. That was Beau Sejour chasing it. Back and forth, just over 8 minutes remaining. That one fired. Never made its way through. Dutney sent it ahead. An open opportunity on the glove save. Nick Lamb said, "Oh, you want a championship? I don't think so." Ripped that one right out of the sky. A beauty on the glove by Nick Lamb. As he keeps the Ottawa Godfathers alive, no pun intended, single-handedly, with the glove. Battling it. Center ice. That one sent just wide. As Pittsburgh has controlled possession for the last minute and a half or so. That one up against the net, covered up. We'll get a quick whistle. Stoppage in play with 7:39 remaining in overtime. We would expect nothing less from these two squads. We're absolutely battling it out, just as they did 2 years ago in the championship, which was also live streamed by Memory to Video Productions, continually live streaming the North American Ball Hockey Championships, the championship game. 7.5 remaining, potentially. But one strike could send somebody home crying and the other the champion. So we will get a face-off down in the far zone here. Pittsburgh GODS looking to try to take advantage. Ottawa wins it. Tries to consolidate in their own zone, unable to do so. Pittsburgh taking their time, laying it out. They've got a couple guys up at the point if they want it. Went for it, overshot it, and now they've got to reset. That floating blue line, they all have to get back behind it. And they did. That one kept in. Nice play by Rick Zimick to keep that one alive. To keep at the red line. Flung down and into the corner. That one will be chased around by Jared Hirsch. Hirsch sends it over to Zimick. Zimick tries to get it ahead. Tipped away by Boules. Boules took a shot earlier but was able to get up under his own power, and he continued to play. Out there now battling up against the boards. As we are under 6.5. Lofted from deep. Lamb got the glove on it but didn't control it, so it's still bouncing around. Very dangerous out in front of the net. Holden sends it up high. Rayom sends that one in. Fighting down in the corner was Holden. As Ottawa dumps it ahead. We're under the 6-minute mark. Back and forth here in overtime. Knotted up at 3 apiece. The GODS and the Godfathers. That one lofted up and ahead. Tried to chase it down, but to no avail, as we will get the icing call, and it'll come back down the near side here near our crow's nest. We'll have a great vantage point. 5:36 remaining in overtime, unless somebody ends it here with one shot. We're going to get a timeout. So stoppage in play with 5:36 left in overtime. So while we have a moment, we'll remind you that today's live action is brought to you in part by Milek. Visit milek.com for more information. We are Streaming live this evening from the SportsPlex in FEASTERVILLE-TREVOSE. It's a mouthful. Pennsylvania, just north of Philadelphia. Beautiful facility with multiple rinks. The host of the North American Ball Hockey Championships. Pittsburgh GODS played through the Leominster Americans in the quarterfinals and the Buffalo Fusion in the semis. The Godfathers cut through the Barrie Flyers in the quarterfinals and the Garden State Warriors in the semis. Ready for a face-off here. Steve Gregory takes that one, loses it. Up and off the netting. Ottawa controls, looking to try to get it ahead. A blocked shot sends Jason Craig, the man with two first names, retreating. And another glove save. Nick Lamb rips that one out of the sky for the second time in overtime. Nick Lamb uses that glove hand to keep Ottawa alive. An absolute beauty. 5:21 remaining in overtime. Lamb has come up big here throughout the game. And there it is. Just as I said it, I jinxed him. That one squeaks through the 5-hole, and we have champions. The Pittsburgh GODS
pit boots